What's going on, people? So this is my last little follow-up review for today. Usually I would split these things into two different videos or whatever, but I don't think anybody's really paying much attention to these, so I'm just going to throw them together. They also really go together anyways, so it just kind of makes sense because like the differences are like so minimal, right? Now I did do a full review of these things, going over like the differences and whatnot. So basically you have this one over here, both from Adidas, right? The Supernova Rise, this is the one. They did just bring out the two, which looks very much the same. And then this is going to be the Supernova Prima, right? So there you go, there's that. Very much the same sort of style all around, right? It's just, again, one is supposed to be like the nicer one, right? Which is this one right here. So that being that, I can't remember what all the actual differences were as far as specs and all that stuff. Those are in like the videos, sure. I kind of forget a lot of stuff after the video is over, honestly. But as far as like a real world experience, which is in my opinion what matters a little bit more, that's what I'm talking about. And this isn't anything like that's going to be super detailed and all that stuff with all the stats and whatnot. It's just I went out in these, how things worked out for me, like the overall with the different runs that I've had in them, right? So these ones right here, we're starting with these, which is the Rise. Like I said, it's the more basic of the two. But honestly, like I like wearing these more. Like they just feel overall more comfortable. Right now, running between these, right? I didn't feel like a huge night and day difference, but these did perform better. I was able to like move a little bit faster, like marginally, right? And not feel like I was like working quite as much for it. It just felt a little bit more fluid wearing the Primas. So there is that to be said, right? But to me, it was still like so close, like as far as like one to the other, that if you're looking at both of these, I would just side with like which one do you like more, like visually speaking, and probably just go with that. Again, these do, I would have to, if you want to go with like which one is the best one for running, I mean, I would have to say that this is the one, right? The Prima just overtook this one. Just again, like I took off moving a little faster and stuff, not feeling like I was putting in as much effort. Seems like a more overall streamlined sort of thing, a little bit lighter, I would assume as well. It just seemed that way too. So very cool. And they also have like a pretty nice look to them, right? I mean, these do too, but I kind of like the extra designs in the upper over the here. So, but this one right here, it had like a slightly more plush feeling overall, right? Which kind of gives it just like a better comfort as far as like walking around in. Because one thing about a lot of running shoes is they aren't usually great for walking around in. So with these, it's kind of nice. With these, it's kind of nice being able to just like walk around in these, feel pretty comfortable and whatnot, and then just go on out to the track from there and move on with your day. Especially one thing like with these having like a more plush tongue, you kind of see that in there. So for me, I did have to lace these up a little bit higher because otherwise they do feel kind of loose, kind of open because of the way the tongue is and all that stuff. So lacing those up a little bit higher, you know, it is kind of nice having that extra plushness over the top of your foot, so that the way the lace isn't like kind of choking you or whatever. Because you know, I keep my feet I keep the shoes tight enough to be snug. On these, even like before I laced them to the top, they still felt pretty good, you know, because again, you have a thinner tongue, so you feel a little bit more locked in right off the top. So that's one slight advantage that these would have. But all in all, they're both very nice, both in a pretty close price point. I want to say it was like 150-ish. I honestly don't remember because it's been so freaking long since I bought these. These were some of the first shoes I bought this year and like some of the ones I was looking forward to the most, but it just took me the longest to get around to them. So now that I finally did, they actually delivered on everything that I was expecting out of them, right? So if you're looking for something that's kind of like on the cheaper side or whatever and still feels pretty nice to walk around in, both of these are really good. Even though I didn't really talk up these as much, I don't have any complaints about them either. It's just that this one was just the one that I liked more, right? But that's why I say if you're between the two, just pick the one that you like visually and go from there. But that being that, I think I've covered everything I need to, so leave whatever questions down below if you want. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm done talking about all my little Adidas shoes because I also had to go over like these as well today. So you'll be seeing a similar video like this, but over those. So that being that, like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down where I can see them. Otherwise, I guess we're just done and maybe we'll cross paths in the future. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Later, people.